This is called fuel. Have you noticed how food is never just food? Meaning it's never just fuel for your body. It has other meanings. Maybe meanings isn't the right word. Maybe it's connotations or attachments. You know what I'm saying. It represents something other than or more than just fuel. For example, in my family, food meant a great many things, the least of which was sustenance. For one thing, food was a way my family marked time. And by this, I do mean lunch time and tea time and dinner time and snack time and break time and bedtime, because my family ate all the time. But I also mean it's a way in which they marked major life events. Hey, Mom, you kept my high school graduation tassel. Oh, I remember that day like it was yesterday. We went out to Mama Mia's Pizzeria. You remember that? What was that thing we had before the pizza came? What was that called? The antipasto? That's it! That was amazing. Wow, Mom, I almost forgot this acting award I got at Rhone State. Oh, I remember that day. That was the day we went to that all-you-can-eat buffet up there in Knoxville. What were those little old things that we tried on that buffet? The pot stickers? That's it! What a funny little old name for such a delicious little old thing. That was amazing. Right, yeah, and then, like, I won that award. And they served sweet tea. Every major event was punctuated with food. Your dad got a clean bill of health after his second quadruple bypass. We're taking him to Cracker Barrel. My parents used food to mark time, is what I'm saying. It also represented money to my parents. I am not sure if you're aware of this, but as it turns out, there are starving children in Africa. And Ethiopia. And China. And various other foreign countries that end with the letter A. And those children would be grateful for those lima beans and eat them with glee and relish. And by relish, I mean a pickled cucumber jam, because there isn't a kid on the planet who can eat lima beans straight. You hear what I'm saying? Some of you may remember that I grew up in a military family and that we bought our groceries at the PX, or the Post Exchange, where military folk could buy at reduced prices brand products like Wonder Bread and Smucker's Goober PB&J, stovetop dressing and cup of noodles for the healthy. The PX is also where enlisted men could find products created by the military for the military. Products that were virtually inedible but would be easy to carry in battle and survive a nuclear blast and be safe to eat after 20 years of nuclear fallout. Like Spam. Yes. I ate a lot of Spam before it was available to the general public. Spam and cream potato casserole. Fried Spam and eggs. Spam sandwiches on white bread with ketchup and mayo. Here's the news. There is not enough catsup in the world to disguise the taste of Spam. It always tastes like Spam. You put that shit on a plate with truffles, caviar, and a sprig of parsley, and it's still a processed loaf of pig anuses and cow glottises. I wasn't sure I wanted to survive the apocalypse if I'd eat Spam in the aftermath. I eventually came back around to wanting to survive the apocalypse because I thought I would be way hotter Du Bois after a couple of 4.7 square mile nuclear blasts had offed a large portion of the competition. But yeah, food represented money to my folks, which is why we had to clean our plates, even if our plates were covered with tasteless military brand canned peas and carrots that you could not keep on your tongue for more than a millisecond without wanting to retch. The Alexanders didn't cotton to throwing away food. Why? Because the Alexanders didn't crumple up dollar bills and throw them into the garbage can. The Alexanders did not use dollar bills to dry the dishes. The Alexanders don't use dollar bills to wipe their asses after they've shat out that Spam and potato casserole. Don't waste food because it's akin to all of those things. It's on your plate. You eat it, young lady. Thus began the great canned peas and carrots affair of 1970-something or other. So here's how that went down. Long before a little photoplay known as Mommy Dearest, my dearest parents decided that my refusal to eat military brand Veggie Mush was not a matter of disgust, but an act of defiance. Defiance was, let's say, frowned upon in my childhood home. Children had to be taught blind obedience at some point if they were going to get on in the world, right? They had to be taught that questioning has dire consequences, and refusal to obey is what lands you in jail by leading to criminal behavior such as drug dealing and peaceful left-wing political protests. So in order to teach me the important lessons in life and to forever take my relationship with food, my folks decided to arrange a duel between me and canned vegetables. One evening, in addition to the virtually inedible baked chicken I was required to consume, and the mashed potatoes from Flakes out of a box, my parents loaded up my plate with military brand peas and carrots and told me I had to clean my plate before I could get up from the table. Now, usually cleaning my plate was a fun thing to do because the plate face had a cartoon drawing of a not scary at all, smiling clown holding balloons that were lifting him up in the air, and then a laughing dog trying to jump up and save him from floating away. I liked laughing dogs. Generally speaking, I was happy to eat everything on my plate to reveal that caterwauling canine. But generally speaking, my plate wasn't usually covered with a substance that had clearly been harvested from the armpit of Satan. So, ding, begin the battle of wills. This may surprise you, but I did not eat said peas and carrots. I was not allowed to leave the table. I remained at the table as the plates got cleared and the food got put away and the dishes got washed and the family gathered together in the front room to watch the Bob Newhart show. I sat on a hard chair at a round kitchen table as my brother and sister loudly said things from the other room like, "This couch sure is comfy tonight." They knew I liked to be comfortable. Or they'd say, "I bet that commercial for that Barbie thing never comes on TV again." They knew I wanted that Barbie thing, whatever it was, and I would not be able to ask for it incessantly since I hadn't seen the commercial and it would never play again. Or they would just laugh very loudly and fakely at a lovely Mary Tyler Moore as if they understood Phyllis's sexual innuendos, or why Lou would yell at Ted until he was red in the face and had to storm into his office and slam the door. They knew I liked to fake laugh. Those guys at the Deer Hunter had nothing on me. I was experiencing torture. I eventually fell asleep at the table and was allowed to go to bed without eating the gelatinous mound. Victory, right? Until the next night when peas and carrots were served again, and I was not allowed to leave the table until I cleared my plate. Guess what happened? I did not eat those peas and carrots. I remained at the table, only this night my parents so cleverly added ice cream to the mix. "Man," my brother says, "I think this ice cream is just as good with or without the Hershey's chocolate sauce, but I think I'll get more." They knew I liked things that were delicious. I fell asleep at the table next to the veg rot. On night 3 of the infamous peas and carrots affair, my child brain was convinced this would go on until I was old and wrinkled, because my child brain didn't realize that I wouldn't be under the thumb of my parents when I was old and wrinkled, because I would be an adult and I would be eating whatever I chose. My parents would be dead. I wished for that time. But in the moment, all I could think was that I would be falling asleep next to mushy, smelly, yellowish and bluish veggies that were supposed to be some other color until the end of time as I knew it. So I formulated a small child plan in my brain, and here's how that went. I ate the meatloaf, and I ate the iceberg lettuce with French dressing, and I ate the Wonder Bread with margarine. And I left the peas and carrots for last. But finally, spoonful by spoonful, I shoved them into my mouth and swallowed without chewing until they were gone. Then, asked for more peas and carrots. My parents, feeling very proud, as if they were responsible for my learning the one lesson that would help me find a husband, get a great job, and take me securely through life, put more peas and carrots on my plate and ruffled my hair and wore a big smile. I shoveled the mush into my gob again and swallowed without chewing and asked for more peas and carrots. See where this is going? Okay. I was allowed only one more spoonful because I had to save room for my little Debbie snack. My family also used food as a reward. Okay, so I swallowed the remaining peas and black, and I waited. So, while the peas and carrots were being shot from my gullet and through my mouth in a steady and powerful stream that could have been used by bigoted police to quell a race riot in 1970 something or other, my mother and siblings sat in a state of shock and awe as my father yanked me up by the arm like a naughty Raggedy Ann doll and whisked me to the bathroom where I lost the last of the offending vegetable substance into the bowl where it looked the same as it did as it came out of the can. After several retching episodes, I sat on my mother's knee as my parents tried to figure out whether to punish me or apologize. My mother kept saying, why did you do that? Why didn't you tell us you were feeling sick? Why didn't you get up from the table? Why did you keep eating? From the other room, I could hear my brother and sister loudly saying things like, "It got in my mouth!" And she's gross. Can we give her away? And she did that on purpose. She is such a little brat. They knew I liked formulating plans. And that was the day I realized food could also be used as a weapon. The rest of the night, I was doted on and cuddled and given Sprite and popsicles because my family used food to comfort. While my brother and sister had to spend the night on bended knee like Cinderella before the ball, cleaning up green and orangish vomit in the kitchen and cursing me under their breath because if they cursed me audibly, they would have been sent to bed without getting to watch Carol Burnett. Probably shouldn't have taunted me. As you can tell from the lobby, I use food as an enticement. and I would say this, these health and welfare gurus who suggest we eat raw and change the way we see food so that we don't treat it like a drug or an addiction, have never had my mother's tater tot casserole, which is made with Campbell's cream of mushroom soup and American cheese slices. That shit tastes like rebellion. Food isn't just fuel, and I don't want it to be. Food brings us together. It unites us because we all have to eat stuff 3 times a day. Food is a topic of conversation we can have without losing friends. Food is a complaint we can voice, which causes us to relate to one another. Food references from the 70s remind us of simpler times and of the life we were dreaming of back then. Food can be an act of kindness, of generosity, of gratitude. Food isn't just fuel. Food is love. I feel very similarly about alcohol. But that's not the topic tonight. So as a thank you, I'm going to take you all out for dim sum. Thanks!